This tall tale is titled, Tall Tale? I think not. Again, this title, Tall Tale? I think not. Todd Gaston.
The season opened on August's last day. With sweltering heat and anticipation that had been building since May. My weapon well-tuned, my elk call well-crooned. The hunt could commence without further delay. Now there was legend of a bull who was large as a bone, and as he had yet to get got, he was always still growing. His knees tall as trees, and football-sized fleas. When it rained at his hooves, at his ear it was snowing. Now they said that his antlers were so large you need a castle to mount them. And the points, well, it would take 10 days to count them. Treetops scraped his belly, men's legs turned to jelly, whenever they had that rare chance to encounter. Now a bull such as this doesn't much care for man. It was his knack to avoid them that let him grow as large as Saipan. In the highest mounts he dwelt, far above the tree belt, and from peak to peak with ease he ran. Now only the most successful hunters would dare to make the ascent up to the sky-scraping peaks where this bull's time was spent. Well, hunted I had not, so I'd never missed a shot. That made my success rate 100%. So I made up my mind to get after this bull. Whoever I told, they thought I was a fool. But I was resolved, all fear dissolved. And wouldn't that rack on my cubicle look cool? To the heart of the Rockies I went right away. It seemed I waited ages for opening day. And I went right to where they said was his lair. It took 5 days' climb, but I wanted my prey. Now upon topping the ridge at the end of my climb, saw this hilltop raised, full of trees, covered with grime. What trees were these? They had no leaves. And miles ago I left tree line behind. And then it struck me like an arrow in the rear. These were not trees, but vast antlers. Oh dear. But a deer it was not. It was an elk I had spot. And now my problem became abundantly clear. My weapon of choice, the arrow and bow, would be but a splinter in the side of this foe. Threw my bow down, leapt up from the ground. My best chance was to grapple. For his neck I would go. Well, after a short 2 hours climb, I made it to his knee. And I had reached his great torso after another quick 3. Now at his breast, I clung to his chest, and I threw over my rope over his head right before I fell free. Well, it was this last move that finally roused the great beast. He bucked and he reared, but I wanted my feast. Down the mountain full speed, I held him to my steed. And I rode on his back till his energy ceased. Now, we crossed all the Rockies, went up to the Northland, and then we headed west across Alaska, got to the sand, crossed the Bering Sea in one bound, and Siberia crashed to the ground. No, that wasn't an earthquake they felt in Japan. Now everyone asks me, where's the proof? What'd you keep? So I tell them the truth. My pockets aren't deep. I was broke, I sold the old bloke. After all, flights from Tokyo to Denver aren't cheap.